finally out and in the woods and up in a tree, which is a good place to be. And I wanted to talk very quickly about practice that I did the other day, which revealed a truth which hopefully helps you. So the other day I woke up and I felt pretty bad, and I had a lot of dramatic life thoughts going around my head, a lot of problems with people, a lot of challenges. And I went and I sat down and I did my meditation and I practiced and sometimes when you're doing a meditation, you're doing any kind of practice, sometimes it doesn't work. And yesterday I did a wonderful meditation with an incredible teacher who's Thich Nhat Hanh. If you look up on YouTube, look up for Calm Ease Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's when I was doing this practice with him on YouTube, and sadly he's now I think he's very ill in Vietnam, so this was recorded a while ago. But the meditation had huge impact on me. But if you just, I was thinking as I was watching it and as I was going through the process, if you broke it down, it was probably in 20 minutes, probably about 10 calls to the bell and maybe 20 words that he said. It was very minimal. And I'm reminded a little bit of the artworks, modern artworks where you get like a splat, like a Jackson Pollock. And a lot of people would look at it and go, well, what's the point? How does that work? What's that about? But for me, that was very deep and powerful and meaningful, and it just allowed me to let go of my ego. But that meditation might not work for some people. And every teacher is wrong for you at some point, and that's okay. And it's very important that we recognize what works for us and what works, within us. And if something isn't right for us, then it might just be that it's not right for us at that time. And I say this also because if you work with somebody, and the process, I had this again this week, I did a practice with somebody and it just didn't work for me at all. And, you've got to honor and respect yourself. I mean, the true self, the heart self, the soul self, when you're doing anything like this. But what I found was, I was doing some meditation and I was looking and I thought, let me do my practice, which is always feeling real emotions every day and going deeper and deeper and listening to what's really going on within myself. And as soon as I did that, it was very clear that it was just exactly the same issue that I've the problem, say, in my life that I'm dealing with at the moment, which I can't really do anything about. I just have to kind of live with it, and pray and hope that things are going to be okay. Like a lot of us have that at the moment. It's a situation we don't really have any control over. And when I did that, I realized how upset I was and how confused and how challenged I was by that. And what I realized was all the other stuff that was on top was just distraction. And I had created this whole illusion of, I've got a problem with this, I've got a problem with that, this isn't working, that isn't working, I can't do this, I can't. Everything was an illusion and it was a distraction. I was creating all this drama, or co-creating all this drama, to distract myself from the things that were really hurting and really bothering me. And I think at the moment a lot of us are doing that. And I would just say, take a moment when you are dealing with a situation or problem to think, is this actually the problem? Is this real? And that's the part of feeling real emotions every day. A lot of what we experience is an illusion that we've created, and it's one of those things that with emotions, with feelings, we have to learn how to work with them, to listen to them, to take care of them. Thich Nhat Hanh again is written beautifully about anger, and he's written beautifully about taking care of the anger, not to try and suppress it or be judgmental of ourselves when we experience anger, but to take care of our anger, to not to nurture it in a way of making it greater, but to look at, hey, why are you so angry? Like we might do if we were doing wonderful work with a child or someone we love. We say, hey, what's going on? Why are you so angry? Talk to me, it's okay. Instead of judging and saying, oh, you shouldn't be angry. Because that doesn't really help in the long run. I think very often when we say these things out loud, or when we say things to another person, we realise how silly they are, But just in terms of distracting ourselves with drama, a lot of us are doing it. We might watch a film, we might enjoy that, we might watch Netflix or something like that. But if we can be aware that we are choosing to distract ourselves with drama, that's okay, isn't it? Because we know. But what we have to be aware of is, am I watching something that's actually making me feel worse? Or am I watching something that makes me feel better? Because it's very hard. I know I find it very hard sometimes to switch a film off when I'm watching it, because I say, you know what? This is not helping me. This is actually making me feel worse. So it's a practice to say, okay, this is distracting, but it's not really helping. But for a lot of us, we get bored with Netflix. We get bored with that. So we have to create another drama. Excuse me. So we might create drama with our friends. We might create drama with our family. We might create a drama with what's going on in the world by creating all these scenarios of what might happen and what's going to happen to us. And what we have to be aware of is when we're doing it. Because as soon as we can be aware of, I am creating this. And maybe it's a good drama. Maybe it's, we're going to have a great party when this is over. This is going to be brilliant. This, something. Or it could be a really negative drama. It could be something really painful. So whatever we're doing, we just have to have that awareness. And I probably need to do another video about awareness. That what we are focusing on and dealing with may not be real. It may be an illusion. It may be something we've created as a distraction. And that's okay if it works for us. If we enjoy it, if it's like a colouring book, and we're doing that colouring in. If that works for you and makes you feel happy, then good. But recognise when it's not helping, and when we want to step out of it, that we can. We can actually stop and say, you know what? I'm creating this worry and this fear because it's distracting me from my real fears. And maybe I need to just check in and have a little look at those real fears. And is there anything I can do in this moment to help that situation, So it's a bit like, I'm suffering from a lot of like weird little injuries at the moment. And sometimes I just have to say, right, let me put my feet up and rest. But then when I can do something, when I can do a bit of exercise to help and support that injury, I need to do it as soon as I can. I need to not waste time by sitting on my bottom when actually today's the day that my back could use a really good workout, or my back could use a really good walk. But to allow that work to happen when it serves me, not to try and do a workout when I've already got an injury. And it's really just learning to take care of ourselves in a way that we are not always taught by the great and wise teachers who may not be so great and wise, or whoever has taught us in our lives, and they've done their best. Our teachers have tried and done their best. I can't try my best now, and this may not be work for you. This may not be working for you. And that's okay too. It's there for the people who it can work for. And just to end on another great and wonderful thing that Thich Nhat Hanh talks about, it's very beautiful. And he talks about rest. And he talks about a deer, when it feels unwell, will go and lie down in the forest and just rest in the forest. And it will heal. And I feel that today, that need to sort of come into the forest and just rest and just allow my soul to heal. Not so much my body today, but my soul needs a little forest time. And the thing is, even the greatest doctors in the world will tell you that they can kind of fix things, and they can do their best. But the healing is something that comes from nature. When a doctor sets a broken arm, that's a great thing. But the broken arm heals through nature. So allow the healing, because nature wants you to heal. Nature is giving us all this stuff to help us heal. So just allow it and let it happen. Hope it helps.